Hey everyone, welcome back. So we're just gonna go ahead and stop, jump right into this thing because I want to keep this going. I want to know what's happened. I'll cut the chase then. Are you the one who killed Hajime Yoshimi? No, but we did not. Don't try and play dumb now. If not you, then who? That much I don't know. Well, it is true that we were after the information he possessed. He was killed by someone else before we could acquire it, which forced us to target you instead, Miss Chozawa. And that's why you forced me to talk and why I ended up with this curse, huh? Indeed. Though I never thought you would escape. Well, it took a couple of miracles, but yeah, I got out. Just one information that Hajime had that you wanted. You really think you can get away without answering now? But... fine, I'll let someone else ask you something for now. Alright, Richard, what you got? Now then, I've come to hand over the Haunting Clapper's Curse Stone like I promised. Curse Stone? Thank you. I have to admit, I'm surprised that you were a man of your word. But first, I've got some questions about the curse stones you already have. What exactly do you want to know? Earlier you said that Hihaku have collected 6 curse stones already. 6? I'd like to confirm which of the 7 mysteries they correspond to. And why do you need to know that? Because I don't trust, of course. If you really collected them like you say, you'd have no problem saying which curse stones they are, right? First, the Whispering Canal. Good, good. What else? Mayo Chozawa over there has the Beckoning Light. Yep, you were the one who made sure I got it. Unfortunately for you, I don't feel like handing it over. So I don't think it counts as one of yours. Good to know. Anyway, do continue. Next, there's the ever-burning lantern, which we gave to Hideki Arashi. So you consider that one of Heihaku's then? Whatever, we'll worry about that later. That's 3. What about the others? Well, the others are... the Foot Washing Mansion and the Evergreen Beach. What? And lastly, the Fool's Procession, if I recall. So you claim. How about it, mademoiselle? That's wrong. Those 3 are with Inspector Shisumi. I gave the Fool's Possession to him myself, so I know he's wrong. There you have it. Too bad for you, pal. If our agreement was founded on lies, then I have no duty to hand over my curse stone like I promised. Meaning the only curse stone you have is the Whispering Canal. And it inevitably follows that you used it to kill that young man in Kinshibori Park. Such a horrible act, and to your own employee no less. Also, he's the one who killed Oki. No, there you are mistaken. What? To be entirely frank with you, we do not possess a single curse stone. What? We plan to collect the soul drag using any method available to us, of course, as we needed the right. But committing murder ourselves was too much of a risk. We intended on having others collect the soul drags for us. Is that so? Therefore, I myself have no soul dregs in my possession. It was our plan to arrange for particularly greedy individuals to receive the curses. What? It is possible Shogo Oki came to possess the Whispering Canal because of that. But by the time I became aware of this, he was already dead. I don't believe you. Are you really trying to talk your way out of this now? Or do you really want me to believe in a Heihaku employee was cursed by complete coincidence? That is the truth, whether you believe me or not. It must have been someone else entirely who took Oki's stone and killed him. I have no idea whatsoever whose hands the Whispering Canal is in now, nor where it may be. Oh, could it really be? Then it wasn't Heihaku who put the idea in Fumichika Nijima's head to get a cursed stone either. Nijima? The only ones we've negotiated with are Iwa and Arashi. Interesting. Excuse me, but does that mean you don't know the location of the remaining curse stones either? There's one that hasn't been mentioned. What about the Taiko Sugaru? Oh, good question, my mysterious mademoiselle. I'm afraid we have no information on that regard either. Have you heard enough about curse stones? I have nothing else to tell you. Excuse me, Mr. Investigator? What is it, mademoiselle? Would you be willing to give up the curse stone you have? Ah, yes, you have a point. They're too dangerous to carelessly walk around with in one's pocket. However, sorry to disappoint you, that's not possible at the moment. And why is that? And you don't know, do you? Then I'll tell both of you and your friend from Hiyako over there. I doubt any of you have attempted it yet. But it seems that curse stones cannot be given to normal people. Huh? What? Actually, tested it with the Madame here earlier. Even if you give the curse stone to someone else, the curse bearer doesn't change, and the stone eventually makes its way back to the bearer. It's almost obvious when you think about it, seeing as how the curse stone appeared to the curse bearers of their own accord to begin with. But Inspector Susumi has collected curse stones from other curse bearers. Then Inspector Susumi must be a curse bearer himself. So from what you're saying, curse stones can only be transferred between curse bearers? And obtaining a curse stone alone doesn't make someone a curse bearer, but they can't use its curse? Exactly. So they aren't quite as dangerous as you think. As for Rihaku's intention of just collecting the curse stones for themselves, unfortunately for them, it was never going to work, unless there's a curse bearer among them. Damn Arashi. How could he not know this? That must be why I sensed that I couldn't take Yako's curse stone. I returned it right away when I borrowed it from her earlier. That's precisely how it works. A mysterious mademoiselle. I gave mine directly to Inspector Susumi earlier. If you know Inspector Susumi, then I think that's best. Thank you. Alright, Mio, what you got? Excuse me. I had no idea that Yumioka was connected with Hihaku. So I'd just like to ask. Was it Miss Yamamori from Hihaku who obtained the record of fates and passed it on to Arashi? No, that was not the case. Oh, my mistake. Was it Tsuiran Gamyota's doing then? No, it was not. We first learned of the record of fates from Mr. Arashi. It was then that Ms. Yamamori gained an interest in extending a contract to compensate him in return for his research and findings. Then who was it that activated the Feast of Shadows to call forth the curse of the Seven Mysteries? I give you my word that we had no part in that. We had learned from Arashi beforehand that something would happen at midnight last night. That is all. Hey, there's no way that's true. Stop lying. I must ask you to please refrain from violence. Hold on, Yako. It's alright. The minute I learned that Yumioka was none other than the queen of Hihaku herself, I felt that was the case. She doesn't have strong enough spirit sense for it. Oh, gotcha. Well, it is somewhat shameful. If you require proof, then so be it. What? So that talk of supernatural powers was just hot air? I don't think she has zero spirit sense, but even Yako here has more than her. I do? Oh god, that's gonna probably be a little bit embarrassing on their part. Also, the spirit power lingering in this park has been bothering me for quite some time. The person who died here must have had considerable powerful spirit sense. If they were a Hihaku employee, then maybe they should have been the one running things. My, to think Shogo Oki was so talented, and now he's dead. Well damn. At any rate, Hihaku wasn't the mastermind behind exposing the record of fates to the world, initiating the Feast of Shadows. I think we can be sure about that. Alright. And you know what about the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll too, don't you? If you were researching the Rite of Resurrection and the Record of Fates, then you must have looked into the Yin Scroll as well. And that's right. The Record of Fates alone wasn't enough to learn how to collect soul dregs. I'm sure you looked into many things on your own, but how much do you actually know? Who and where Simon Tsuchimikado's descendants are? Were you able to find that sort of information from Gamyoto's connection? I can't reveal that. And then would you prefer I expose to the public how Gamyoto is a fraud with almost zero spirit sense? Fine, I understand. From the results of our own independent research, I found that Simon Tsuchimikado's descendant was Hajime Yoshimi. I knew it! I called it! He's one of them, and so is the other girl. What? So that's why you went after Hajime? However, Hajime Yoshimi was only carrying a fragment of the whole. Fragment? That's right. It did say something about a fragment of an old manuscript. The location of the Yin Scroll was hidden. This information was split into two and hidden in a pair of talismans, which were then passed down from generation to generation. Talismans? I see. Hajime Yoshimi was supposed to have one, but it was almost certainly stolen when he was killed. It's possible that he knew the location of the other as well. So that's why you questioned me about the things he inherited. The girl Hajime had been helping recently must have had it then. Oh, Michio's talisman. Yes, Michio Shirashi was also likely descendant of Simon Tsuchimikado. What? The talisman she carried as a keepsake from her father. We searched for it based on Miss Chozawa's memories. However, Michio Shirashi was already dead. Yes, by coincidence she happened to be closely connected to Mr. Iwa, and we began our investigation there. But he was already dead too, leaving you in a quandary. I see. Mio, if we can get both of the talismans, yep, we'll know the location of the Record of Fate's Yin Scroll. Wow, sometimes the answer is right under your nose. Mia always looks interesting when she makes this face. It looks like she's always plotting something evil. Sometimes those answers are the hardest to find. Now go. Let's keep quiet about the location of the talismans for now, okay? Ah, right. No need for Yumioka to know. That was a close one. I almost let it slip. Wait, we're not gonna let Harue talk? Okay. Alright, I guess we'll continue. Okay. I think that's about all we have to ask him. We'll let you off for today since you went along with all our questions nicely. A pleasure working with you. We're done here. But the information you have. The hell are you whining about? I said we're done, so scram! Okay. She's starting to rise up at the top to one of my favorite people now. She deals with no bullshit. That's all our business as well, so I shall be bidding you all farewell. Yes, right. Excuse me, Mr. Investigator. Please don't forget about the cursed stone. Don't you fret. I'll hand it over to Inspector Sutsumi like I promised. I'm glad I didn't end up having to give it to Yumioka. Let's take our leave, madame. With this, we'll be freed from this troublesome curse ourselves. Alright, now we gotta go find that other girl and have her hand us that half. That lady and the investigator. We should keep an eye on them. Agreed. Really? Why? I think they're up to something. Just my intuition, but still. Yeah. I wonder what that investigator really wanted out of all this. If his goal was getting information about the curse stones, then this might be bad. Oh, right. I got one of those curse stones too. The beckoning light? Oh, right. If you wouldn't mind, would you give it to Inspector Sutsumi without using it? Yeah, sure. If you introduce me to the cop, that is. I feel like if I keep carrying it around with me, I'll start getting some weird ideas too. I just remembered! Mayu, I have something important to tell you. Whoa! What's with all the yelling all of a sudden? You know a girl named Hitomi Okuda, don't you? Really? Hitomi has Hajimi's talisman? Yes. He entrusted to her in a panic just before his death. He sensed an imminent crisis closing in on him, but Hitomi was the only one around that he could ask for help. That's so. I'm sorry she got left with such a big responsibility. That must mean that Hajime got killed by someone who was after that talisman. But since he gave it to someone else, they couldn't steal it like they wanted. I'll have to thank Hitomi for that. I also think it's going to be hard for us to get her to give up the talisman. Yeah, you may be right. It was Hajime's direct request to her. But you two need the talisman for something? Yeah. Personally, I like to use the talisman as bait. Then I could get my hands on the bastard that killed Hajime. Please, I promise we'll uncover the mastermind behind all this. They probably have supernatural abilities at their disposal. Please leave them to us. Yeah, we'll catch them, don't you worry. Well, look at that. You've got that look in your eyes. A look that young people get that says they'll get something done no matter what it takes. How am I supposed to say no to that? You go find them and give them what they deserve for what they did for my Hajime. You hear? We will. I'm pretty mad at them myself. If punches work on them, I'll give them a good one. Now that I can get behind. I'll leave it to you two. Now then, your next move should be to find Hitomi and get that talisman. Though, isn't there one more talisman that you need? Right, but we've got a pretty good idea of where the one Michio had is. We'll have to check with Inspector Sutsumi about that. We should go back to the school and call him. You got it. Okay, I'll head to the high school now and wait for you there. Perfect. Alright, let's see. I want to know what they're doing right now. We've received an update on the hostage situation. The 56-year-old male suspect who announced his intent to commit mass murder in Sumida City today had taken a woman hostage and gone on the run, but was found by the police in a park in Sumida after 4 p.m. and confirmed dead. The weapon the suspect was said to possess was nowhere to be found on site, and its whereabouts are currently unknown. Furthermore, the female hostage was not present, and the search for her continues. Interesting. If it's being reported on the news, then that lends credit to her story. Well then, how should I proceed? Is this what it's like to be rushing to one's doom? Anyways, I should ask her about her side of the story. He was quite shaken just moments ago, but he seems better now. You'd think it'd be harder for him to keep his cool. Well, oh hey! So you did come along. Wonder what her intentions are. How's she able to act like nothing happened? Is this just how girls are these days? No, I'm sure she's got a couple screws loose in there. That or maybe she's like her father, more than we know. That's got a cool, level-headed. Well, it's just like I said, right? The female hostage mentioned on the news was just now. That must have been you. Which means you killed Najima with your own curse stone. Well, you said you'd give me refuge, so I came to take you up on that offer. Well, what are you planning? Me? Well, obviously, I'm on to my last resort. Oh, good. Oh. So you're a curse bearer with a curse stone too, right? Are you surprised? Yes, I have a curse stone of my own. It's a Taiko Sugaru. Then why go after other people's curse stones? Because killing people is bad, you know? Don't you think so too? You're right. It's wrong to kill people for the sake of resurrection. Right? And it's not even 1 for 1, so it's hardly a fair exchange. Either way, that's why I wanted to only use soul drakes gathered by others. But that didn't work out in the end. No one had the backbone to use their curse. The world's gone soft. With no one mercilessly using their curse in pursuit of their own goals, I had to make matters into my own hands. Okay, well that sucks for Susumi. He's gonna have to arrest his own daughter because she's a freaking psycho. I heard Namagaki, that young man you were with, used curse stone too. Huh? How do you know that? You creepy much? Are you stalking me? I may have heard it from a detective I know. There it is. Cops. Bet you know a bunch. I know your type. People who boast just because they know a couple of cops. But the police is filled with nothing but scum. My, you seem to hold quite a grudge against the force. Speaking of, this guy is really creeping me out. What's the deal with him anyway? You gonna explain? Even the way he moves is all weird and exaggerated. Right. I haven't introduced myself yet. No thank you. Let me introduce myself. It's hard to talk as strangers. Is it? And are you okay telling me who you are? Well, I won't stop you. Do as you please. Well, I am Harue Shikima, and this is my house. My father and husband are both with the police. Is that so? Then you know that cops are just the worst people, right? Well, there are certainly many who are cold, especially with their own family. In a police family, one is always expected to just grin and bear it, no matter what happens. God, I know, right? What a relief, you understand. I think we might get along. Oh? Well, I'm glad then. And I'm Richard Kai, private investigator. Did I ask? But, you're an investigator? So your job is to sneak around and follow people to pry into their secrets, right? Oh, is that why you keep probing with all these questions? Ew. Guess there's not much I can do to change that terrible impression you got of me. Hey lady, why are you working with this dude? I asked him to look into something for me. Really? It's just that he keeps looking this way. Well, where is he going to look? Isn't your father a police officer as well? That man is not my father. Not in name or deed. Sounds like there's some bad blood there. I've already legally cut old ties. He even had the nerve to act all high and mighty today, and still refused to help me. You met him today? Yes, today. Remember that Chief Susumi who was chasing Najima? Well, that's him, my dad. What? You're his daughter? Former daughter. I've cut ties. He's never acted like a father, so he doesn't deserve the title. You know, I heard something about Najima. Apparently he wanted to get revenge on Chief Inspector Susumi for his arrest by going after his daughter. Wait, really? And I heard the police have been searching non-stop to take you into protective custody. So that explains why the police were staking out your place too. Man, how could I have known that? It came in such intimidating numbers. Wait, huh? Hold on a minute. Doesn't that mean that Najima was specifically after my life today? That sounds about right. It's a good thing you got out unscathed. Or rather, managed to turn the tables on him. Oh, that means legally speaking it was self-defense. But that truly was quite frightening. To think I'd have to go through this just for being related to a cop. It's a disgrace. It truly is. It caused their own child such trouble. I'm sorry. It's okay. You're not the one that needs to apologize, lady. I'm sorry. It just reminded me of what happened to my son. Your son? What happened? My child was also kidnapped and murdered in order to enact revenge against the police, you see. What? How awful. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. How did you say it? I do remember hearing about an incident like that last year. That must have been your son, huh? My condolences. I don't like her. I feel like she's really acting. Like this is just nothing but an act and she doesn't give a damn. Maybe she, for all I know, she could be psychopathic. Now that I think about it, although we've met a few times, I didn't even know your name. I guess we're more like acquaintances now. So, what were we talking about again? Oh, right. Yutaro Namagaki. He's no good, honestly. He was such a wuss. I had to spur him on so many times for him to even use his curse. And even then, he was pissing his pants. And just when I take my eyes off of him, he hands over his curse stone to someone. Honestly, he's a disappointment. So that's what happened. Which is why I figured I had to do it myself if I wanted to do it done it right, you know? That's what my last resort is, collecting soul dregs on my own. So, when you were taken hostage by Nejima, you used the curse stone in the gardens and swiftly made your getaway? Well, yeah. I didn't really have time to think on it. At the time, I only thought of how to get out of there. Then, what about now? Could you use it again? Your curse stone? Well, the curse stone doesn't respond during the day, but it's evening now. So I tried using the curse just now and yep, it seems I activated it. What? You're using it now? It might still be a little weak. I guess it's not supposed to be used repeatedly. But I think I could get it to work once more. Oh? That's so. Sure is. So I'll give you a final warning. It's already started, so be careful, It started? Oh crap. What was her again? Okay, so it's got to do with like drums. But that doesn't make any sense. Is it the clock? What started? The curse, of course. All that's left is for the conditions to be fulfilled. She activated her curse? The curse stones can be used already? I let my guard down. I didn't think it could be used this early in the evening. Ma'am, please calm down. What should I do? Should I keep her talking? Oh god, so many questions to ask. No, instead of talking about that, how about we talk about why you're so shaken? As I thought, you have a curse stone too. You're a curse bearer, aren't you, lady? Well, there's no point in lying. Yes, I am. I'm sure you've already noticed. Well, yeah, around last night. It was a little too obvious. Judging by your address, I'm guessing you've got the haunting clappers? Yes, that's right. There's a lot of soul dregs on the table for killing a curse bearer, you know. I'm well aware. You get soul dregs when you kill Nejima? Of course. This curse stone already contains some soul dregs as well. I think killing one more curse bearer will be enough for the rite. You can combine soul dregs to carve off silver stones? Correct. All it needs is the prerequisite amount. As long as you've got that, it doesn't seem to matter where you got them from. I see. Then, you won't mind if I took them, right? My lady? You're quite motivated, aren't you? God, these two are the exact opposite for their own selfish reasons. Well, with Harue, I can understand. She wants to bring her child back. And of course, as a mother, she will literally do anything and everything to get that child back. But Ayami, on the other hand, she just wants to bring a dead artist back. One who's been dead for hundreds of years. And that's it? That's really it? A person she's never even met? Ugh. Either way, I'm disappointed in both of them. Ma'am? No, she's got that look in her eye. She's not gonna... Your father, the chief inspector. I met him not too long ago. Oh, really? He came off a little stiff and awkward. There's a surprise. But there was something charming about his seriousness, as he seemed like he cared a lot about his daughter. Please cut it out. It's gross. You don't know a thing about us. I said I shouldn't butt into another family's affairs. Though he may as well be a stranger to me now. Even if you cut legal ties, you're still related by blood. Huh? We're not related at all. Huh? You probably thought that I never noticed it, but it wasn't hard for me to figure out that I wasn't related to him by blood. So, you were adopted? Well, I got curious, so I looked into it. It was all pretty straightforward. I was a baby when they took me in. All they did was raise me. Oh! She's the baby! She's Nejima's baby! The one that he made! Oh crap, she is the murderer. So she killed her own lover. Did I use the curse then? Should I curse her right now and be done with it? Goodbye. Huh? Man, please, think this through. Yeah, I'm not risking it. It's me or her. And I choose me. I know. I contradicted myself. I'm a terrible person. Whatever. Ma'am, why? It was the only way. Richard? Should we settle any outstanding tabs now? Yeah, sure. Amamori, you got a moment? Of course. What is it, Mr. Richer? I was just curious. Have you heard of the legend of the mother who prayed to the Sumida River and resurrected her dead child? What are you on about? The mother searched so desperately for her abducted child that she lost her mind. Her son was found dead in the Sumida River, so then built a mound and continued to pray there until her son somehow emerged from the mound, back from the dead. Or so the legend goes. I heard it's being adapted into a no play today. Interesting. And? Well, it just had me thinking that legends really do exist. Sorry to ask this again, but what are you on about? Never mind. It is what it is. Welcome to my office. It might be small and dirty, but welcome. Come on. Ernestine, say hello. That's it. Good girl. Oh, that boy over there? That must be... Hey, kid. I'm a private investigator. I worked with your mother not too long ago. What's that? You want to be an investigator when you grow up too? That's great. It's so much better than becoming a police officer. Hey, I'm Amori. Don't you tell the kid to give up on his dreams. I think it's a great idea. Why don't you bring us all some tea instead? Pardon me. Let's start over. What brings you to my humble office today? Alright, so that's one ending. Let's see if we can continue and get the other one. Alright, let's talk with her. Alright, skip. We already got this part covered out. My mother first got pregnant shortly after she married. But it was a stillbirth. The whole affair left a deep wound on her heart. My father couldn't bear to see it. So it was for her sake that he did it. I was a substitute, a replacement for the child she lost. He decided that all by himself. He didn't discuss it? Maybe he was trying to be thoughtful. Though any baby would have been fine, as long as it would have comforted the woman who had hoped to become a mother. Put it in such a way. It's not easy to raise a child. My mother was bewildered. Wouldn't you be, after being told to raise a baby that wasn't your own? But she couldn't just abandon the baby either. Yet my father just left everything to my mother and never lent a hand. He is so damn selfish. The two of them grew apart. I watched them try and figure out how to understand each other, and the sight of it disgusted me. It was a messed up family, I'll tell you. Well, I guess my presence was to blame for that rift to begin with. You shouldn't say that. I know he's bad at expressing himself and has his work, but still, that shouldn't be an excuse. But knowing all that, I couldn't take it anymore. It just made me want to hurry up and leave home and live on my own. I still rely on him for tuition and allowance, but that much is normal for most kids, right? I don't want him to start acting like he's my father now just because he's doing the minimum. I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like it was tough for all of you. I'm sorry, you're right, it's not my place to talk about your family. Well, I may have said too much. I think I spilled all that when I don't even know what the conditions are. Could it be what we were talking about had something to do with the activation conditions for the haunting clappers? Who knows? How did you kill Fumichika Nijima? I'm not telling you. I only asked because it does concern me. He was one of the reasons my child was kidnapped. And there's not much to say. We talked and he cleared the conditions for my stone. Did he show any signs of remorse over his past crimes? It didn't feel like he did, no. I see. The world is full of trash men, I tell you. I agree. Well, not Richard. Richard's pretty good. So is Irio. And Susumi, even though he's kind of been a bad father, I think he's a pretty cool dude. In a way, I guess you could say you put a stop to Nijima's mass murder schemes. About that. There's no guarantee that I won't do it myself. Huh? I picked up his curse stone off the one-sided reed. It really is something else. Unfortunately, I can't use the curse stone that's not mine until it's late at night. Really? Are you okay with telling me that? Ah, silly of me. I let that slip. Do you smoke? Huh? Well, a little. Feel free to smoke if you want to, please. I'm okay. I don't see any ashtrays out on display either. Does no one smoke in this family? A little rare, isn't it? Nobody in the family does. And why did you ask me if I did all of a sudden? Well, What is your wish, Ayami? Is it really to resurrect Katsushika Hokusai? Yes, there's no life that holds more value than his. Including my own. You're saying you'd be willing to die if it meant bringing Hokusai back to life? Yeah, this girl's... she's lost it. She's gone. She needs some mental help. Not all life is equal. At least, not to me. A life that can birth art with the power to move hearts is infinitely more worthy. Compared to that, the life of someone like me, someone that can't produce a thing, has no value. That's unhinged, right? Again, this girl needs some mental help. I'm still young. It's the age for wild thoughts. But aren't you the same as me? What? You've got a life more important than your own. A life you consider more important than the lives of many others. That's what you're doing it all for, isn't it? You're right. If I could save my son, I couldn't care less about my life, or the lives of the others. Who's unhinged now? You both are. I'm a mother. It is what it is. Dang, the feelings of a proper parent are something else. Sounds like she's a little jealous. But if that's your wish, then what do you plan on doing if you don't get your wish? Oh, I haven't thought of it. I might just keep on trying to bring Hokusai back some other way. You really are obsessed. You and Heihaku's chairwoman might be cut from the same cloth. Who's that? She's like an all-powerful vortex of obsession turned into yokai-level proportions. You're saying I'll end up like her? Are you looking forward to such a future? I'd rather not have to wait till I'm old and creaking. I want it to happen now. I'll put my life on the line for Hokusai. Listen, Ayame. I have something to ask you. No, the answer's no. The curse stone in your possession, I'm not giving it up. You're right. We're both made of stronger stuff than that. You're not giving it up. And neither am I. You know full well, right? That there's no room left for negotiation here. You're right, there's not. Well, Nuggets, now what? Wait, is that really it? Do I really have no other options but to kill her? This is really it? This is the ending for Harue and for Ayame? Well, bye Ayame, again. Oh, Nuggets. Okay, take two. Oh, it didn't work. Did you try to use a curse just now? It seems I didn't meet your curse's conditions. I wonder if it was smart to secretly toss the lighter I was carrying earlier. When did... You made a mistake when you decided to ask me about smoking. If a source of fire is the condition for your stone, then you won't see me falling for it now. You wasted your chance with all this chatter. All you needed to do was activate your curse first. I brought everything Nijima had on him, including the lighter he was holding. But it's over now. Yes, I concede. Alrighty. With your cards on the table, you're out of options. It might be possible for Mr. Investigator there to pin me down by force. But he's not going to do that, is he? Correct. I won't take that risk. Not while your curse's conditions are unknown. Coward. I came to kill you and acquire your soul dregs, but after hearing you out, I got a question for you. Why don't you just give up on the right of resurrection? You said it was your son, right? The one you want to bring back? But haven't you done enough? I'm sure your son is content knowing you care for him this much. I'm truly willing to die to resurrect Hokusai, but you can't say the same, right? If you're going to bring your son back, you have to be alive as well, right? In fact, what you really want is for both of you to live, right? Yes. Well, even if both of you live to see it, your son will grow up knowing you for who you are. Someone who stole the lives of others to bring him back. You will be putting the burden of shouldering all the lives sacrificed for him on his little shoulders. Are you really okay with that? If you didn't even think about that, then what you're doing is not for your son. It's for yourself. Aren't you just bringing him back to fulfill your own desires? That's not... Ma'am? What she's saying may be harsh, but holds a kernel of truth. Don't reduce yourself to nothing but a mother who would sacrifice anything for her son. But that's not... We discovered the truth behind his kidnapping. Next, you should take some time to come to understand your own feelings. I'll help you every step of the way. Getting to the heart of things is what an investigator does. What will you do? Ma'am? If you relinquish the curse stone to a curse bearer, you will no longer be a curse bearer. You won't be a target anymore. Ayama's is giving you a chance. Think hard, and then give your answer. Very well. Here. Thanks. Glad you could see reason. Ma'am, you made the right choice. Dang. You really didn't collect any soul dregs, huh? I promised myself that if I ever used it, it would only be once. But in the end, it didn't come down to numbers. So they only need to be carrying a flame. This seems pretty practical. Well, I'll be taking my leave then. There's no point in going after you for soul drag, so I'm off to the next curse bearer. Do you know who remains? You speak as if you've already figured it all out. I've got a pretty good idea from our talk. What will you do? Do you plan to stop me? It's not my place to intervene. Alright then. Hey lady, can I borrow your phone? I don't mind. But who are you calling? The cops. I think it would be faster if I called them directly. Oh crap, is she gonna go after her dad? Seriously? Okay, let's see. So it looks like we still got it. We can pick another option for her. Or we can go ahead and prepare for battle. Either way, I think this is a good stopping point. Because, of course, I want to tease y'all. Force you to watch the next video. But until then, I hope you guys have a great day. And take care of yourselves, okay? I'll see you then. Bye.